Hi, boys and girls. For our daily devotion, we have been talking about honesty is the best policy. And when we are honest, we are telling the truth. Well, today I'm going to tell you a little story. This story is about a little girl, and her mom worked in the bank, and her dad was a doctor. Anytime that this little girl asked for anything, her parents went out and bought it for her. And every morning she would show what her parents had brought her in class. And the kids would always be so excited to see what the little girl had brought. One day in particular, another little girl brought a shiny purple pin to class. And everyone was looking at it. It was beautiful. It was sparkly. It was fuzzy. It was just beautiful. And everybody was so excited at what this little girl had brought. No one bothered to ask the other little girl what she had brought to school that day. Well, the class went to assembly. And during the assembly, the little girl, who always had everything, decided that she wanted that pin for herself. So she asked the teacher to go to the bathroom. Instead of going to the bathroom, do you know what she did, boys and girls? She went into her classroom and she took that shiny, fuzzy, purple pin. And as she was taking the pin, another student, a little boy in her class, walked in. He had left the assembly because he wasn't feeling well, and he had asked the teacher if he could lay down on the couch for a little while. Well, because the little boy started her, she shoved the pin into her pocket and went back to assembly. When the assembly was over, all of the kids went back to class. And the little girl who had brought in the purple, shiny, fuzzy pin said, Teacher, miss, I can't find my pin. Someone took it. So the teacher said to the little boy, I remember you asking me to go to the class to lay down because you say you weren't feeling well. Let me search your bag and your pockets. And the teacher searched his bag and his pockets and he couldn't find anything. But the teacher said, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to punish you because you were the only person who left the assembly. The little girl who had stole the pencil started to feel a little bad, but she didn't want to get into trouble. So you know what she did? She just kept quiet. She just kept quiet and she didn't say anything. And when she went home that night, she couldn't sleep. Oh, this poor little girl, boys and girls. She couldn't sleep. She tossed and she turned in her bed because she was taught that honesty is the best policy. She was taught to always tell the truth, and she had disobeyed her parents. So the next morning, when she went to school, the teacher said to the little boy, remember, you're in timeout for the rest of the week for stealing that pencil. And the little girl was nervous, but you know what she did? She stood up in front of the class and she said, Teacher, I'm sorry, but let me explain to you what happened. I was jealous. I liked this pin so much I wanted it for myself, and when my classmate, the little boy, walked in, I got so nervous and I shoved it down in my pocket without even thinking it through. But she said, I didn't sleep last night because my mom and my dad told me to always be honest. And I must confess, I have the pin. She took the pin out of her bag and gave it back to her classmate. The teacher was surprised. She would have never expected that out of that student. But the teacher said, thank you for being honest. You saved your classmate from getting punished. And the teacher she said, even though you were dishonest by taking the pin, you were honest by telling the truth. And she said, I know that must have been very hard for you, but thank you for obeying your parents and being honest. Now please apologize to your classmate because I was about to punish him. So she apologized to her classmate, and the teacher made her promise to never be dishonest again. And the little girl promised, and there was never another issue with being dishonest in the classroom.